Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. Boost! I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2018, the album Dad AF. Bananas, B-A-N-A-N-A-S. All right, I am so conflicted. Let me tell you why, are you ready? Because whenever I want to say some serious stuff in a video, like I want to say some stuff, okay? I have some serious stuff to say, and I hurry through my intro and I kind of just like skip right to the serious stuff. People in the comments are always like, you're so over your intro, you don't want to do it anymore, right? No, that's not it at all. It's just like, I want to kind of set the tone, like, hi, this is Bill Curtis. Welcome to another episode of Investigative Reports. You know what I mean? Like, I want to say, hey, I got some shit to say, not, beast, listen to me. So, I got some shit to say today, okay? I have some serious things I want to say about Tanacon. Yes, we are visiting back home again in Tanacon. Okay, we are visiting Tanacon again. And actually, this was not the video that I was going to make today. I was going to make a Jeffree Star video, but I think that will probably be beast tomorrow. So, I just happened to be rolling through the Twitter last night, right? When I saw that Tana Mongeau, now if you don't know what you don't know is a lot. I have now made about 16 and a half Tana Mongeau videos, okay? And I'm not gonna talk about any of the, facts or, fiction of Tanacon and anything that's been put out there about that, okay? I am specifically just gonna talk about this tweet that she put out last night and kind of address some facts around that. That is all this video is about. I think not. Okay. So, she said last night, 15 hours ago, at 8:52 p.m., she said, guys, I've been doing a lot of thinking. I am so ready to address every question that is still left from Tanacon, and this documentary is taking so... This what? Oh, this documentary is taking so long. I'm debating releasing like a 5-minute video, and she puts it all in caps, right? So she's gonna answer every question that is still out there about Tanacon, and how many? Count them. 1, little piggy, 2, little piggy, 3, little piggy, 4, little piggy, 5, little piggies. That's how long you get to every question, okay? Yet again, basically saying, I could care less about you. I'm gonna just run through these questions because there's nothing really to ask anymore, except that I'm gonna make an hour-and-a-half long documentary that y'all are gonna watch because you wanna get the answers. Yet again, driving the narrative. Thank you, Tana Mongeau. So she says, let's get back to the tweet. Guys, I've been doing a lot of thinking. I am so ready to address every question that is still left from Tanacon, and this documentary is taking so long. I'm debating releasing like a 5-minute video discussing what's truly important for those who want answers. Ask me anything. So, it's interesting because currently I think there's something like, 495 retweets, 17.4 thousand likes, and then there's like 800 comments underneath here, which I'm going to get to in a couple minutes. But I wanted to address a couple things in here because I think it's really interesting. First of all, it has been well over 2 weeks, and Tana hasn't really, other than, a docuseries that she was in, has not put out any video addressing this whatsoever, okay? Why does it take, okay, this documentary is taking so long, I guess I'll just sit down and do a 5-minute video. She should have done a 5-minute video the night that Tanacon went down. If not then, the next night. 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 And this is where I have a real issue about it, okay? People are really wondering, like, is this a scam? Was this a con? And all this kinds of stuff. Well, when you look at the bigger picture, okay, you cannot just look at the small picture like this is about ticket sales and there were only so many free tickets given out and there were like all these VIP tickets out. By the way, I have gotten so many tweets from people that said that Veeps refunded them. I've gotten pictures of the refund and on and on and on that people direct message me. So I do know that Veeps is actually refunding people from Tanacon. So bravo for that. But when you have to look at the bigger picture, right? And there's always more going on to the story than I think anybody knows. And what this is starting to feel like to me, now, we've heard about this documentary that this Michael Weiss from Good Times was going to put out. We know that Tana had previous interactions with Michael, okay? If you go to his website, you can also see Tana in previous documentary-style videos that are on his website. So he has a previous history of doing a documentary kind of thing, showing events, and Tana has also been in those, okay? So there's two little facts you need to know. Now she's coming out with a documentary. If she and Michael come out with a documentary together, or she has any part in putting this documentary together that Michael Weiss is putting out, I 100% believe this whole thing was a scam just to put this documentary out. Period. End of story. Okay? Do I believe that she wanted to meet her fans? Sure. Who wouldn't? Okay? Do I believe that she thought this was a good idea? Yes. Do I believe this started with pure innocent intentions, that I had a bad experience at VidCon and I want to do something different? Absolutely. Do I think it turned into a bigger picture? Yes, I really, really do. And you know, you have to remember that when you have a lot of creative people sitting in a room together brainstorming, it's like you come up with one idea and then the idea gets bigger, and I have witnessed this myself on, you know, YouTube, working with a lot of different, like talking to different creators and stuff. It's like, okay, we're going to start off with a video and we're just going to do a mukbang. And then it's like, well, why don't we do a mukbang where we go to McDonald's and we try everything on the menu? Okay, well, why don't we do, you know, a mukbang where you try everything on McDonald's menu and then you try everything on, you know, Burger King's menu? Okay, why don't we get Burger King and McDonald's to sponsor us? I have a better idea. Why don't we actually go to Burger King, go to McDonald's, and then we'll make a documentary out of the whole thing, sell it to Netflix, see if they'll put it up there, because we're already big YouTubers. So do you see what I'm saying? It just spins out of control and out of control. Woo! All right, so anyway, so then the idea just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Well, when you're talking about, you know, YouTubers that have inflated egos and stuff like that, they don't want to just settle for the, let's go to McDonald's and do a mukbang. They want the biggest thing out there. So do I think that at some point, when this shit show like turned into this, let's do a documentary, because Michael was filming the whole thing from the planning point on, right? Why do that? Why film? I mean, that's a really good question. I would want to ask Tana Mongeau, why were you filming this from the very get-go, okay? We've seen the footage of her sitting in, you know, around Bella Thorne's house talking about making people wait outside. But has anybody asked the question why Michael was filming that to begin with? I mean, if I was sitting there having a pretty exclusive conversation about a business venture that I was going into, I don't know that I would want any cameras on. So why was Tana allowing that to happen? Well, she must have known that that footage down the road would be used for something, right? Well, then that means that she knew from the get-go that this documentary was going to come out, which means that to some degree, she was backing it from the beginning, right? So now she comes out and she says, this documentary is taking too long. What documentary? Her part with her filmmaker that she had behind the scenes? It's all too much for me, okay? Because we also know that Tana had a filmographer that was doing the same thing. So are two documentaries going to be put out, two separate ones? The whole thing is very interesting to me, right? So we'll see what happens, you know? I really do believe that Tana will probably put out a documentary just with her filmmaker. I believe that Michael Weiss will put out a documentary as well, but do I think that there's some collaboration between the two? Yeah, absolutely I do. I'm sorry, you can't talk me out of that one. It's bigger than all of this, okay? And the thing is that when you have ego and arrogance and cockiness and all that kind of stuff, you really believe that people below you are kind of stupid. You just believe they'll buy into your story. And that's, I think, a lot of what's gone on with Tana and Tanacon, right? Is that she just believes that people will buy her story. Like, I'm just dumb and 19 years old and I don't know any, how old is she now, 20? I don't know anything about the world. I'm just dumb, I'm stupid. No, she's not, okay? She is somebody that has risen to fame extremely fast, okay? And she has made it big to where major YouTubers want to collaborate with her, okay? Before Tanacon. So she's like one of the fastest growing things to happen on YouTube and in, you know, the whole world of social media and influencers and all that kind of stuff, right? She's got music out. Why wouldn't she want to be in a movie, a documentary? Her best friend is a movie star, Bella Thorne. So it all makes sense, right? So anyway, when you look at this whole picture overall, it's like she's not stupid. She's had major YouTubers wanting to collab with her for a long time, for a year and a half, right? And then she puts out this whole video about VidCon. She even gets Hank Green, okay? Hank Green of the Vlog Brothers. John Green, the Fault in Our Stars brother, okay? Some of the first ever original YouTubers of the world, okay, who helped create and put together VidCon. She even has him say something to or she doesn't have him. He says, I'm responsible a lot for what happened at Tanacon. No, you're not at all. Not because of something bad that happened at VidCon. You are not responsible for somebody else's actions. And I'm so tired of people allowing Tana just to get away with shit. I'll tell you why I'm tired of it, okay? Not because that I think that, Tana deserves, what's coming to her. It has nothing to do with that, all right? It's because in my 46 years, what I have learned, and call me the old man of YouTube, I don't really give a shit, okay? But what I have learned is that when people enable other people and they don't suffer consequences, they never learn from their behaviors. So to truly love somebody and to truly want them to change, what you have to do is help them to see the truth, stop enabling them, and help them to suffer consequences. So when Hank Green put that statement out, no, he took total responsibility from Tana off of all of that. It's too much for me, okay? But Tana puts out this whole thing about how VidCon screwed her, and then she's going to come up with Tanacon, and all of these major influencers get on board behind her. Major influencers, okay? Casey Neistat, Shane Dawson, all of these huge influencers, okay? All of her friends, Bella Thorne's team. She was willing to put her reputation on the line for this. Major influencers were behind her, okay? Major. She's not stupid, she's not dumb, and I'm just dumb and I'm, 20 years old. I don't buy into that, okay? So then you have to think, well, she's very smart, which means there's motives to all of this. Now, if you watch my videos enough, you know that I really believe in remaining teachable. So I had a teachable moment today, okay? Because I went in and I saw this term documentary and I said, well, I've been preaching that I think documentaries are supposed to be unbiased and objective and all this kind of stuff. Little unknown fact about Peter Monn, okay? My undergraduate degree is in English, but I actually am a minor in film studies. And I studied a whole class on documentaries, and I still to this day am like a documentary fiend, okay? That's all I watch is documentaries almost, constantly. Well, right now I'm watching Twin Peaks: The Return, and I can't get enough of it. But, a lot of what I watch is documentaries, and most of the time, they're pretty objective, okay? Well, I started looking in and researching articles that have been written by major film schools, right? And I asked the question, are documentaries supposed to be unbiased? And it was interesting when I looked in there at, documentary people like Michael Moore, or the people that interviewed Eileen Wuornos, or The Staircase that just came out, or the Wonderful Wild West of West Virginia, which is one of my all-time favorite documentaries, or, all these documentaries that you go into and you look at, right? What's interesting is that the common theme that I saw in all of these articles was that the news should be objective and unbiased, but documentaries are film. So that means that they are going to be subjective to the filmmaker's idea of what they want that film to look like. Well, so I've learned a very valuable lesson. Documentaries are not necessarily intended to be objective and unbiased, okay? So I learned a really great lesson. And that's why you remain teachable in life, because you've got to be taught those things, okay? But the question says then that if it's up to the filmmaker to show a certain side of you, and Tana is putting a documentary together. I did a video the other day talking about how Logan Paul is going to do this whole docuseries, talking about the forest and where his mind was at, and what the article was talking about was that now a lot of people like YouTubers are using documentaries. All kinds of people are using documentaries. We've seen this all over. There was some great documentaries put out recently by Demi Lovato and Lady Gaga, and I love those documentaries, but who's to say that they weren't pushed in certain narratives of how they wanted us to see it? We have no idea, right? So it's really up to the person that's putting the documentary out. So then the question is, okay, since a documentary doesn't have to be objective and it can be subjective, then you have to ask, well, what is the filmmaker's motives behind the documentary? So what is Tana's motive for putting this documentary out? What answers does she want to give to people? She has ultimately the final, decision making over that, if that makes sense. And, I think it's interesting. It's like, when YouTubers do Q&As, do you ever wonder why they don't get certain questions? Okay, well, I was talking to a friend of mine that does a lot of Q&As, and because, I started doing Q&As, and this was back in the day, and I said, well, how do you, know, when you come up, because I just read mine straight off of Instagram, so whatever comes up is the question that I answer, right? And I said, well, how do you know, if a question comes up that you're like, oh, should I answer this, I shouldn't? And he said, I go in first, and I, look at all the questions, and I weed out the ones that I don't want to answer. Okay, there again, pushing the narrative of what you want the video to look like. YouTubers do it, filmmakers do it, TV people do it, even the news does it. I know it's hard to believe, but even the news does it. So anyway, you have to ask yourself, well, what is Tana's motive for all of this? Why is she pushing the narrative in a certain degree? You know, why not just let it go at this point? Why not just say, we're going to refund everybody. I'm going to put out an apology video. I'm going to take total ownership. And this is, if I were Tana Mongeau's PR agent, this is what I would say to her, okay? First of all, I mean, public relations and marketing people really want to hype stuff up. So probably a really good PR marketing agent would say, you need to hype this up and get as many views, as many subs as you can get off this. So if you're going to put a docuseries out, make the people wait for it, feed them out to it, put a little video out first, feed it out to them, and then they're going to wait. They're going to wait, and they're going to wait. And then when that thing goes off, boom, everybody in the world is going to watch it. That's good marketing advice, right? But if you really care about your people, Tana, this is what I would say to you as a PR person. Screw the answers, okay? Take all the questions that you have and say, I'm going to do as long a video, because you put a 57-minute video out about VidCon that was not considered a documentary. So you should be able to sit down and weed through all the questions. There's going to be certain themes to questions, and answer honestly each question. Honestly. Completely honest, okay? Tell your story, get vulnerable, get raw, be completely honest. Then at the end of it, take complete ownership, say what your part is in it, say how you're going to make amends for it and you're going to clean up your act, and say this won't happen again, and allow your fans to move on from Tanacon. That is what needs to happen. When you go underneath here, under the questions, it's interesting what happened. So she says she's debating, releasing like a 5-minute video. And then somebody says, are you going to honor your promise of merch for ticket buyers and compensation for those who traveled? And then somebody says, really, how do you think she can come out of pocket for merch for 5,000 people? And the travel expenses for fans who came out, how would anyone determine who would get how much? No clue. She is the one that made the promise. She should have thought about that before she put it out there. And then she says she thought Michael got it somebody says Michael got it covered. That is annoying. I feel like you guys are speaking on this to stay relevant and to shit on her for something. If you bought tickets and were that concerned, you would have known like 2 weeks ago Veep said they were refunding everyone about the tickets. I also want a refund for travel expenses in a hotel. Her event was the only reason we traveled from Seattle, and we were not provided for what we came for. She's not responsible for travel. She shouldn't have said anything about it. If your fave band is playing, blah, blah, blah. And then somebody says, girl, she said she would in a tweet. Let Tana answer the damn question. And it goes on and on and on. And it just gets out of control. People go back and forth. So I wanted to look back and see what Tana did actually say. And I went back, and she said that somebody said, please, this was on June 25th. Please upload a video on Tanacon ASAP. Now, Tana, if you don't know, ASAP stands for as soon as possible. One little piggy, two little piggy. Okay, that was on 6/25. It is currently July 14th. She said, I want to tell everything with full transparency. I'm looking so incredibly forward to talking about this and taking every step personally to hold full accountability and make things right. I want to continue to fight for what I'm passionate about and fix my wrongs. We have seen that not happen yet. There's been no transparency. We haven't seen any of that happen at this point. She's still spinning the narrative in her direction and talking about documentaries and maybe putting out a 5-minute video. And what questions are left unanswered? They're all left unanswered, Tana. They're all. People want to know why you said make them wait. People want to know where your money was that you put into it. People want to know why you worked with Michael and said you didn't really know what he was about when you had obviously worked with him a lot in the past. There's a lot of questions. If you don't know what they are, go underneath my 6.5 videos and you'll find them. Then she says on 6/20, oh, this was the day before, 6/24, refunds caps will be issued even if I write the check out of my own pocket. Merch will be sent to ticket buyers. If anyone traveled far, feel free to email, and then she has her email address to discuss compensation from me personally. Now, that's not a verbal contract that necessarily could hold up in court, okay? It just couldn't, because it's just her tweeting it out. I mean, and it is from her account. But, I mean, it's, there's a lot that goes into that kind of stuff. But she did say refunds will be issued. They have been issued. Even if I write the check out of my own pocket, merch will be sent to ticket buyers. So that's a valuable question. Has merch been sent? If anyone traveled far, feel free to email me. A lot of people are saying they traveled far. So there's a lot of questions left unanswered that I think a 5-minute video doesn't make a lot of sense, that you're going to sit down in 5 minutes and say, what, the questions you want to answer? Here's the deal, okay? At this point, it's just a total shit show. People deserve the right to move on from this, especially all of Tana's fans. And this is just, it just goes on and on and on. We could continue to discuss this day after day. I now have made 7 3/4 videos about it. I mean, it is very interesting, I'm gonna be honest with you, you know, like it really, really is. But when she says on here that she is, and she does say in another tweet that she's gonna take full responsibility, we haven't seen that yet, okay? Tana, this is not that deep, okay? This is not about legality. This is not about Michael Weiss being responsible for this. This is not about good times. This isn't about any of this. This is about the fact, and I've said this now in 4 videos, this was your idea. This is your responsibility. You said you were ultimately responsible for this. You've said it in tweets. You've said it in videos. Just own it. Come out and show your fans, okay, that you truly believe that you are truly responsible. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.